So we shouldn't have no echo nowhere, huh?
Should not, no.
Can we move these mics closer?
Yes.
Okay.
Never mind. Act like you love
Some
me.
beautiful people.
Act like you love me good. Yo, what's good? This is the Kingdom Outcast podcast. I am one of three hosts, Brandon Mashad.
Hi, everybody. It's Deja.
What's up, beautiful people? Elijah, Eliyahu,
And
back here,
for
you
sure.
know.
Yeah, for sure.
Live episode number 32.
Yep. And to keep it real, it's been a rough start today, you guys.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
To keep it all the way 100, like it's been a rough start. We starting late.
Yeah.
It's gloomy outside, but you know.
Still blessed. Still blessed.
Still blessed nonetheless, but yeah, it's been a very slow start.
For sure. But man, shoot, how y'all been this past week?
So it's been good. Man, it was just, I think, a culmination of so many things, and kind of was able to just settle down this week mentally and get back to the gym, get back to doing some fasting, some reading of the Word, and learn how to like just connect with the Most High better this week. Yeah, everything's been good. It's colder now, so kind of adjusting to that. But being a summer baby, I like the warm, wet weather. But I still have shorts on,
That is,
so
that
I gotta do better.
I don't wear enough lotion for that.
Yeah.
It also has been like unseasonably hot, so I can understand why you felt like shorts today could work.
Yeah. I was expecting it to be a little bit warmer, but it is what it is.
Well, George is always a wild card,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you gotta have multiple. I got layers on really for just in case it gets warm.
I got layers. I got a hoodie or two in the car, but
No pants.
no pants.
I'm ready to no pants. I feel you.
Yeah, it's been good your guys' way. How's life been?
I've had a really good week. This week, let's see, I've been reading. I finished 2 Kings, and at the same time, I had started reading Esdras, really like last week, and I realized that 2 Kings ends where Esdras begins with King Josiah, and then it goes into the last kings of Israel. So I decided that it would be a really cool time to start re-studying the word. Like, I know that studying the word is something that is like something that you will do over the course of your lifetime. So you really never be done with studying the word. But I want to get back to the basics. So I think what I want to do is create kind of like a timeline, and then line up the scripture the way that, writing it down in a way that's chronological with the way that it occurred, including the apocryphal texts.
Yeah.
And then the names of some of the prominent characters, because it helps resonate in my mind when I understand, like I said, I want to read Esdras because I know it's apocryphal text, but not realizing that it aligns with the end of Kings. Now I understand timeline-wise what was going on during the time this was written.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it'll be a lot of fun, like digging into the historical context of the word and what was going on culturally. And it's really a really cool contrast when you jump from like Old Testament to Gospel. You get that contrast of like, okay, this happened 400 or 500 years prior to this, but this is the way that they're speaking and acting, and this is what was normalized in the culture at the time. Then you look at our culture and where we're at now on that timeline. We believe that we're toward the end of it. So then now I want to read about the prophets and the prophecies that they were writing about during the time that we're currently living in. I just think that that's a great way for me in this season to approach my reading and studying.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to go about studying the word, looking at it from like a historical perspective as well, because the word it talks about so many different things. It talks about people groups, it talks about kingdoms and slaveries and so many different aspects.
Idolatry and the forms of the idolatry and the evil deeds that were going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, also
Yeah.
this week I got to visit one of my close friends, Kaseyu. She sometimes she'll tune in with us, but she just had her baby, and I just wanted to go over and hang out, and I brought dinner for them and the family, and it was a lot of fun, just like watching her, seeing the little boys, they're getting bigger.
Yeah.
And the one, like,
That's so amazing.
Levi, when I first come over, I'm like, oh, Levi, like, come here. He's like one.
Uh-huh.
And he's just like, But then the longer I'm there and sitting talking to her and we're just laughing it up, he, like, creeps over and jumps in my lap on his own. And I'm like, you love me.
Right. That's what's up. Kids are so cute. And that's just, I told Lee, congratulations. You know, he's got the baby girl now.
Yes.
And that's such a blessing.
Absolutely.
You know, I think children are a blessing.
Also this week, I went to a midweek service at Refuge, and Pastor Will is talking about internal conflict. So so his series right now is internal conflict, basically how not to make your internal struggles other people's battles, and reflecting on how where you are in life and how you're feeling on the inside, that's going to come out in your relationships and the way that you treat other people. And he's pulling scripture to kind of like show us the comparison between the internal conflict of the spirit and the flesh, and how they're at war all the time. And so, yeah, I think it's important for us on our journey always to recognize, like, okay, I know that when I'm not in a good place, it may cause me to be like in strife with other people, or maybe I need to speak against the spirit in a person and not who they are all the time. Resolving, like, conflict resolution in a way that will please the Most High. So I have been guilty of having church commitment issues, I will say, but I always get a good word. Like, whether I go to Refuge, I get a good word. When I go to Boom, I get a good word. I feel I always get a good word at PCC.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's nice to switch it up. Plus, we don't have any midweek service at PCC anymore. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for one, Esdras is definitely one of my favorite books. Just because the hard to have conversations he has in the Most High, which he asks a lot of questions that people ask today that and the books that are available to us, they don't really give the most straightforward answer. But you see the Most High gives a lot of like straightforward answers. You know what I mean? To Esdras' concerns. I believe what that book takes place around 150 to 100 BC. I believe Esdras.
yes.
And like right before the Maccabean revolt. Excuse me. And so I would also but yeah, I mean, just as far as like what else you said, yeah, I haven't really committed to just one congregation because my mind just now is that we're all a church.
Yes.
So now granted, yeah, it'd be kind of annoying to kind of jump in on a series, right, where I have to catch up, but I mean, it's cool. It's working for me right now. I honestly just wish both the congregations I go to just
come
linked, but it's whatever, right? I can't have two alphas in the same house. As far as this week, I have experienced probably one of the most traumatic things I ever had in my life this week, but it has still been a good, blessed week, and it's not something anybody on here was going to hear for a while. But I'm good though. It's still been a good week. Still been blessed.
Sorry to hear that.
No, I'm good. But I'm good though. I'm good. So I'm always, even when I'm not good, I'm good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, still been a good week. Clients are cool. Getting used to this weather change up a little bit. Working on not getting back into old habits, probably gonna fast, again, coming back from the motherland, feeling all, purish and cleanish and but now my body, now it's getting cold. My body wants smoke. Like,
all excuse will do.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
But see, the same thing when it's getting hot. Oh, it's getting hot. When it gets hot, I just
Look,
gotta do these
so
things.
now, so I need to, yes, I need to fast and get in my word and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, that's what I got off the top of the dome so far, you know. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just find it interesting. I think reading apocryphal texts and even like the Most High's word in, I guess, the 66 and the lining them up,
Mhm.
and then also relating them to what we're going through right now and like
Yes.
you know what we're experiencing. I think that kind of it definitely touches on our main topic. You know, these next 4 years and what we think about. And I just the Most High's word is living and it's active, and we're seeing prophecy taking fulfillment. Like I really feel like we're like in the book of Revelation, you know.
Yes.
Sure.
We're seeing events in relation to that. So
That's where I would place myself on the timeline.
yeah,
In my mind.
me too.
Right there.
So it's just like I don't know. And then reading different parts of the word, we're seeing so many events taking place, and we're coming together more as people. Everyone's people are waking up. You know, it's beautiful to see.
As Yasharal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some very specific things I think we've just recently started experiencing that resembles some scripture in the word. So I definitely look forward to getting into some of those topics and conversations. So
Okay, so I'll get into our precept, and I'm pulling this precept from 2nd Esdras 7, and I'm going to start with 49. So in this case, Esdras is speaking with an angelic being, asking questions, and the angels answering him. So he says, and he answered me and said, listen to me, and I will instruct you.
49 what? I'm sorry.
7:49. Listen to me, and I will instruct you, and I will admonish you yet again. For this cause the Most High has not made one world but two. For whereas you have said that the just are not many, but few, and the ungodly abound, hear the answer thereto. If you have exceedingly few stones, you will set them near. You will set for you them near according to their number. Things of. Okay, I'm sorry. This is
49 through what?
This is going to be
60.
49 through 60.
Okay.
Can I read the version on this?
Mhm.
I don't like this version as much.
I think it might be the same, but
I'm going to change it.
oh
I'm
yeah.
going to change it.
I'm gonna just
Okay.
put the verse in the comments.
So this is the CJB version, which is what I prefer.
Yeah.
That to read. And he replied to me, listen to me, and I will instruct you, and I will advise you yet again. Because of this, the Most High made not one but two worlds. Regarding what I have said about the just being many but few, not many but few, and the wicked being numerous. Think about this. If you have very few choice stones, you will add lead. Will you add lead and clay to their number? And I said, Lord, who would do such a thing? And he said to me, not only this, but ask the earth, and it will inform you. Flatter it, and it will tell you. Say to it, you create gold, silver, bronze, iron, and also lead and clay. But silver is more numerous than gold, and bronze than silver, and iron than bronze, and lead than iron, and clay than lead. Decide yourself then which of these are precious and desirable, what is abundant and what is rare. I said, Supreme Lord, that which is abundant is cheaper because what is rare is more valuable. And he said to me, reflect on what you have thought. The one who has what is scarce rejoices more than the one who has what is abundant. So also will the judgment I have promised. I will rejoice over the few who will be saved, because they are the ones who made my honor to prevail now, and through them my reputation is celebrated. I will have no regrets over the multitude who perish, for they are even now like vapor, the equivalent of flame or smoke. They burn up and flare up and are quenched.
Heard. Yeah, I feel that. I mean, it's honestly very simple. Most High just saying, like, y'all just like me. And I'm just like, y'all, the same way y'all want diamonds and gold and the rarest things and the finest things. Well, I value what's rare as well, you know. Well, really, that's why we're like that, because he's like that. You know what I mean? We have those characteristics of valuing what's the rarest because that's how he is, and we come from him, you know.
Yes.
So I think it's honestly, some probably people might read that and think, oh, that's cruel. I mean, you know, but in that same person's mind, it's almost that would be hypocritical because you feel the same way, you know,
Yes.
about stuff, you know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And good way to look at it too, I think. Like the Most High wants those that are rare, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People that are okay with going against what the world says,
Yeah.
what other nations say, what other people believe, and standing on what he said.
Right.
He's the Alpha and the Omega, you know? So it's like, I already know everything, the beginning from the end. But I guess in putting it in human terms is good for me to see. Silver and gold, you know, like, oh, those are things that I would like to have more, you know?
Yeah.
That's, you know, how the Most High is. He wants to have more people.
Yeah.
And people waking up to just realizing who they are, and especially like all throughout his word, Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm calling them.
I think this also really aligns with the messages that the Messiah had given, where he compares leaving the 99 for the one. It's the same idea that, well, one, the Most High is sovereign over creation. So what might sound cruel to us is like him, you know, building sandcastles and knocking them down. If he sees value in the rare and leaves the rest for destruction, it's his creation to do it. But also, if the Messiah would leave the 99 for the one, that shows you that he has value. He sees value in each and every one of us that are that one, that are his.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that should be encouragement. I find it to be encouraging. I think to me, it means that when I'm walking in my righteousness and when I'm asking the Most High to fill me up and make me better, because I want to be that one that's rare, that he sees that and he honors that, and that I'm precious and I'm valuable to him.
Yeah, for sure. You that's 49 through what? 749 through what?
That was through 61, I think, actually.
61. All right, I'm gonna just throw that in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, it was through 61. So the Hebrew word that we selected from that passage is precious.
Precious. Okay, got it. So let's go and see what precious means here. Not the precious from the movie, you guys. Okay.
Precious, valuable.
You're not talking me. You know, she's probably precious in the Most High's eyes too.
Exactly.
You know.
Is that what the movie was called? Was it
Yeah.
called Precious? Oh, I've never seen it.
It's very dark.
I know.
Don't ever watch it.
People are waving at us. All right, so Strong's Hebrew, Strong's Concordance Hebrew, 3368. The word for precious is yakar. Okay, yakar. Definition: precious. Oh, so part of speech is an adjective. Definition is precious, valuable, rare, esteemed, valuable. And if anybody wants to understand what Strong's is a concordance to know what the Hebrew language, what English words are in the Hebrew language. You can just type Strong's Concordance on the internet or go to a Bible Hub or download Bible Hub app or Blue Letter Bible, whatever, and look up the same stuff. So the definition: precious, valuable, rare, esteemed. Word origin derived from the root yakar, which means to be precious or to be esteemed. The corresponding Greek, they did some updates here. The corresponding Greek word is G5093, meaning precious or of great price, which is used in the New Testament to describe the blood of the Messiah and the promises of Yah. This usage is used to describe something that is highly valued, esteemed, or considered precious. It often refers to physical objects like jewels or materials, but can also describe abstract concepts such as wisdom, life, or the word of Yah. The term conveys a sense of rarity and worth, indicating that the object or concept is not only valuable, but is cherished and respected. Ah, there's some updates here. Cultural and historical background. In ancient Israelite culture, the concept of something being precious was closely tied to its rarity and intrinsic value. Elijah likes that term, intrinsic value.
Yeah, ROI.
Precious stones, metals, and other materials were often used in the construction of the tabernacle and temple, symbolizing the holiness and worthiness of Yah. The esteem for wisdom and the word of Yah as precious reflects the high regard for the divine revelation and guidance in the life of the community. And so, yeah, precious, splendid, weighty. NASB translation: costly, glory, luminaries, noble, precious, splendor, weightier. I like that word. Heavy. And I'm not going to go into everything I did this one, but the root of that word is Strong's 3365, yakar, which means to be heavy, valuable, or to make rare. So yeah, you guys, that's where that comes from. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It really makes me think of like 1 Peter, 2 Peter when he talks about us being a royal priesthood. In my own personal study, I've been reading 1st, 2nd Timothy lately, and these letters that Paul's writing to Timothy about how to conduct and how the church should be operating and people should be operating and just focusing on righteousness and really bringing, thoughts captive unto the obedience of Christ and making him Lord over all things. I think that it just like that high calling reminds me of some of the terms that are used in the word precious. I'm trying to think of which one stood out with me the most. Just the value of it, and also when you said weighty, I liked weighty. Like when you think about someone having some jewelry, it's and you go ahead and put it on like a scale. It's like, oh, it's got like if it's real, it's gonna have some weight. You know what I mean? It's gonna have some weight. It's not gonna be light.
Yeah, I think about like expensive, basically the equivalent of like something costing a lot. And when I think about my walk, certain things I just can't do because my walk just costs too much.
Yeah.
Like some things it just costs too much, and so who the Most High made me to be and the purpose that He has for my life is very expensive. It costs a lot, so I can't do anything that's going to devalue that.
Right.
I feel that. A lot of times we just don't. We do things because we don't understand how precious we are. It's really just kind of an ignorance of who we are. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Some people like to go off the verse in Psalms and how the Messiah reiterated in Matthew about ye are gods, right? But
Okay, drop you this
for sure.
Show it on YouTube.
Ye are gods, right? Well, first of all, that's God, little g under big G, gods. But if you really feel like that, you gotta operate in that. You know what I mean? So I definitely feel all of that. What you're saying for real. But yeah, man, that's the Hebrew word. What's up? We at current events now.
Get to it.
Current events.
Okay.
Woo! What a week it has been. What an interesting week it has been.
I was on a call at work, just regular, our team meeting, we have a huddle every other Wednesday. And our director gets on and he's like, so guys, let's think of some small talk. Everyone, how's the weather, how are the kids,
share type thing.
Just think of some small talk because we can't talk about the obvious.
But I would you could add them up, load them into brand. Yeah, the obvious.
Yeah, he's like, we're not gonna talk about the obvious, so how's the weather?
Yeah. How are you guys enjoying this change in weather?
Yeah.
It is so much the obvious. It's something that everyone wants to talk about.
Everyone wants to talk about. I do think the Caucasians do feel they feel like they won.
Yeah.
I think the tone of the meeting would have been different if.
Right, they would have won with either of them.
Yeah,
they would have won
regardless.
They don't see it that way.
They would have won. They don't see it, and that's because of ignorance. That's it, man. Look, yo
They have sort
homegirl,
of like an arrogant chuckle with it.
yo homegirl, Candace Owens.
That's my cousin them.
She
Cousin them.
she outed Kamala on her identity.
Oh yeah,
She
she
is
for
going
24
in,
episodes.
So no, they would have won either way.
Yeah.
Either the seemingly
Oh,
overly
yeah.
prejudiced, orange guy, or the half Jewish, half Indian, whatever claim to be Jamaican person that everybody thinks is black.
Yeah.
But
Canada.
it is what it is.
It is what it is. I think it's you got to realize that the the creator of the monies that they receive are coming from the same place, and it's all to move forward an agenda. I think, but I it was interesting seeing it before and after. How much hype was built up behind people supporting their candidates. Like
Yes,
they're like,
lots
yo,
of hype.
do this. I mean, we got a couple assassination attempts from the now President-elect Trump.
If they were real.
They were real. But and then we've got like everything coming out about it's just so much.
They actually said there was a bomb threat at an election poll in, I think, in DeKalb.
Oh wow.
That's gracious.
Yeah, so I mean, things were getting really wild, but honestly, election night was like not even exciting or thrilling because it was a sweep. It wasn't even close.
Nah.
I'm like, why they put that lady out there?
Yeah.
I woke up to
I
it.
don't know if I've ever seen someone get dragged like that in an election. Normally it's a little close,
Hello.
Well,
like a college
money.
football game or something. I mean, yeah.
Hello, everybody.
what's
It was pretty clear.
It's funny in watching, reactions or even just listening to like the podcasters' tones with this whole entire thing is now everybody is admitting or coming out to admit and just being honest with it and saying she ran a horrible campaign.
Yes.
Her talking points, the
Hey guys.
Hey.
her talking points, what she was pushing was just things the most Americans just don't care about. You know what I mean? A lot of people is broke out here, moving back in with their families, and they don't know where their next. A lot of people are becoming broke. We care about the money and the economy, but her main points was
Hip hop artists. I saw a lot of hip hop artists.
like, bro, it was over with when Megan started twerking online. Did Glorilla do something too?
Yes, they did. A
Come
double
on, bro.
whammy
There's a
on
lot
stage.
of
It just
hip
wasn't.
hop artists and I didn't understand the relevance, I guess.
You got it. That's appealing to entertainment when people need to have philosophical
But
type
you
of
didn't
conversations.
see like
and logical
Republicans go and
conversations.
get every last country artist. Like I don't know. I just didn't understand. The
All right,
relevance.
so Pete, right?
Yeah.
They both pandered, but there was a right way to pander and a wrong way to pander. Trump, he went and got like Detroit. What's his name, man? But he's no, black guy. He got out of jail.
That was the
I keep
the
forgetting his
Democratic
name, but he got this big rapper out of Detroit out of jail to talk to him. That's how you do that.
Yeah.
You get like we have men incarcerated in jail.
Yeah.
And you're doing that, and you're bringing them out, and he has the voice and ears of the black people in Detroit. Whereas, bruh, bringing out the raunchiest woman in our community to twerk on stage is kind of like insulting. For
very
real.
insulting.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
I'm insulted.
exploit, I mean, they exploit themselves, but you use that for a presidential campaign.
Yeah.
I mean,
marketing.
you know what I'm saying? Now, granted, women's rights, was a big thing, right?
Yes.
Abortion and stuff like that. And, even Most High gives people the free will to choose with consequences, right? But the free will to choose. But that issue isn't as pressing to American people as economics, money, taxes, all of that stuff. Immigrants, right? I mean, people all over in New York and other countries are mad that immigrants are getting free housing, non-taxable things. They're getting so many rights that a lot of us aren't getting. That even the Latino in the immigrants that are here already want them gone. Like that, and that's why a lot of people were surprised that he got so much of the minority vote with them. It's like, no, a lot of them want them gone too.
Right.
Like,
Back to the
They did compare that to the prior election.
Yeah.
As far as the demographics of like Hispanic and Latinos who voted which way, and he got a lot more than this time around. And the explanation was that the ones who came over here legally and did the process don't want to see other people breaking the system and making it a worse place for them to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the logic behind why a lot of them swung their vote to the Republican side compared to 4 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of things I didn't consider like pre-election night. I was like, oh, people actually really care about things that they're not putting in the media, I guess. Like I just felt like there were so many ads. Okay, there's so many ads, and you heard so much about. Like I think the Kamala team, they spent a lot of money on ads that was like really just attacking them.
So I was like, yes, they did use a lot.
No, they used a lot of ads.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Just thinking about like how ADDS. Yeah. They pushed an agenda that was too freeing, and it didn't capture enough of like what actually people care about, like you said, like with the economy, with like immigration, or even like just the future. And it's interesting that that Trump's with Elon now. That's a very interesting new tie.
We don't get it.
And power is shifting. We're seeing, I think.
And even
Joe Biden, what he did in regards to like helping Loki out the Trump campaign.
Yeah.
He put on the Trump hat. He was smiling with that. He called them garbage.
Was that not fake news?
Even the
no. It was actual video. He actually put on like it was someone in the crowd had it.
Yeah.
They gave it to him. He took it. He's like, hey, I'll wear that if you wear mine.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what, man? Shoot, I love Look, that's predictive programming.
Yes.
Like we've already selected who we are, and this is
it's all a show.
And not only that, but the community that they've wrapped up Black civil rights up with LGBTQ rights and stuff like that. And one thing that people still got to realize, even though their voice is very loud, it's still a very small percent of the population, like still like 1%. Maybe with the upcoming generation, it might increase to 2-3%, but it's still a very small population.
Yeah.
So
they just have a large support.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so I just think it's a thing where it's like y'all like. I mean, granted, I wasn't trying to. Whoever won, honestly, wouldn't be surprised. But I'm even less farther away from being surprised that Trump won, especially with just some other information we're gonna dig into.
I agree.
Okay,
so what was Elon Musk's post about?
So, posted a picture of him, Trump, and he had his kid on his shoulders, and it said Novos Ordo Seclorum. I don't know if we put that on the screen. But he that's the sign. I think that's like New Age Order or something like that. That's on the back of the dollar bill.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's the same. It's like a Latin phrase. A Latin phrase or something.
I'm not gonna. I can't get this stuff up fast enough.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out in the future as far as sharing things. But look, yo, look, New World Order. Like, yo, and that's gonna blend right into this next 4 years. It's gonna blend into these next 4 years. What that is, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do we think the next 4 years is going to look like?
Well, so first of all, everybody has to look up the book, Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Okay? You have to look up this book. This book was written in 1890, okay, by a high-ranking Freemason named Lockhart. Let me see.
Inglewood?
Hmm?
Is it Inglewood Lockhart?
Yeah, let me see. Because this thing don't want to act slow now that we need it. But yeah, I guess Inglewood Lockhart. We'll go with that until I find something else that says different. But and in this book, first of all, if you look at the picture of the person on the book, right, he looks a lot. Oh yes. Oh, Ingersoll. It's Ingersoll Lockhart. The picture, the boy on it looks a lot like Barron Trump, right? It looks a lot like him when he was a kid. You know, as far as his face shape, all of that. The kid is described to be, mean. He gives everybody an insulting nickname as a term of endearment,
Oh,
and but he comes
sounds
across
familiar.
as,
Yeah.
Sounds rather familiar.
right. But he comes across this time machine. This time machine that when he travels to the future, he lands in Russia. Right? He lands in Russia, and in this book, basically, long story short, the country is in turmoil. There's a lot of protesting going on. He winds up friends with Nikola Tesla, which which the government confiscated his papers, and now we know today about the Nikola Tesla earthquake machine, right? And in quote from the book, the Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob, unquote. The novel continues, citing an address in New York City where Trump Tower now stands. Literally cited the address of Trump Tower in 1890 in this book.
Strange.
Quote, the entire East Side is in a state of uproar. Police officers shouted through the streets warning city folk to stay indoors for the night. Mobs of vast size are organizing under the lead of anarchists and socialists and threaten to plunder and despoil the houses of the rich who have wronged and oppressed them for so many years. A lot of people feel like he's just in there for the rich right now. Mine,
Purge movies.
exactly. And what is Trump's whole thing right now? Is about draining the swamp, coming for the deep state, getting the cabal and the government out of the government. In this book, he travels to become the last president of the United States to destroy the republic.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the irony of this. It is because it is a thing that Trump is anti-elites. I'm anti-elites.
Or at least he poses that.
Yes.
He poses to be anti-elites, but then the people on the opposite side of the aisle would say he's only there for the rich and he's doing this and that for the taxes for the rich. And in my mind, he is an elite.
Yeah.
So, which one is it?
Well, I think he's a tier below elite. Elites, I don't feel like we don't see him a lot, like Rothschild, Rockefeller.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not in the front.
Yeah.
Like on the control pyramid,
Yeah.
like you got Satan, the elites, and then the governmental leaders.
Politicians,
Yeah, so he's
senates,
right.
presidents, celebrities.
Here you go.
Beyonce.
Well, celebrities, I would say would be a tier below, like
Government officials.
Yeah, they're just the influence.
Yeah.
And then below that, them is us,
All right.
like the citizens.
Yeah.
No, that is interesting though.
But yeah, man,
Really,
it
highly
is like-
suspicious.
Yeah.
Suspicious.
This is like an OG example of predictive programming. And then you think about what, I mean, if, he's Masonic, how they have connections with, Albert Pike and like the dude who,
he was alive at this time.
He said that there's going to be 3 world wars, and we're starting to see that right now with even Trump coming into office now, or like now it's supposed to be quelled because everyone wants to have peace now with the United States. They're saying like, oh, Trump's back in office, congratulations. But it's just, it's crazy that, that it's so blatant, I guess.
That
And
exists.
Tesla, likely has created a time travel machine or something of sorts,
And it's interesting. Oh, go ahead.
It's just crazy,
They do always say that in movies to the point where I'm like, okay, does somebody? Are they really doing this?
Or this could be, fallen angels.
That too.
You know what I mean?
Yo, and it's funny you say peace, right? Because apparently now that he's in office, the wars are now stopping, right? Hamas, the Taliban wants to make, friends with him, and China's like cool, and Putin is like, Putin literally tweeted, the United States the West is not an enemy.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like,
Friends.
Yeah.
Peace.
We're friends now.
but First Thessalonians, chapter 5 says, but of the times and the appointed season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yah so comes as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes on them,
Mhm.
as they travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You are children of light and children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness.
Mhm.
Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they be drunken, are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for the helmet and the hope of salvation. And that's what all of this, that verse has been pounding my head since he won election. When they cried peace and safety,
Uh-huh.
because what comes after Trump's reign? The 2030 United Nations,
Mhm.
a World Economic Forum. You will
Okay.
own nothing and be happy.
Yeah.
17 development goals.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like we'll
That's
see.
That's what these next 4 years are going to be about. Is about preparing that for that. You know, to just be fully implemented. All those 20 different agendas that they have in regards to climate change and
Right.
So
social
the next election is going to be in
rights.
2029.
2028 will be the next election.
2028, okay.
Yes,
Yeah, it is 2025.
presidential.
And
If there ever is another one, maybe they'll just be like, nah, it's just we're gonna
Yeah.
go vice president and then speaker of the house and then.
yeah, and this is why it's so important to be in the truth, because
Mhm.
truthers who aren't in the truth, right? Just your average
Mhm.
conspiracy theorist, prepper-minded person,
Uh-huh.
really feel like Trump is there
Yeah.
to save
To
us.
save us.
Yeah.
And it's like, y'all, there
Yeah.
is controlled opposition.
Yeah.
Like, he's a high-ranking Freemason, but that's another conversation.
Mhm.
But you know, Larry Johnson, he put out a video talking about how they would never let seemingly, you know, black woman who's in a Greek, you know, fraternity
Mhm.
win against a high-ranking Freemason.
Right.
You know what I'm
Makes sense.
saying?
Yeah.
Because Greek fraternities are under
Right.
Masonic order anyways.
That's a good point. I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just like, you know, yeah, they put this play on, but this was the play.
Yeah.
The play was, well, no,
Get people riled up.
right, well, the black community especially,
Mhm.
because, well, first of all, Trump is there as far as his book is concerned,
Uh-huh.
and what I think is control opposition. It is to drain the swamp, destroy the government, tear down the American government.
Mhm.
So the new
The
world
new
order, what
one
Elon
thing,
Musk was wearing this on our dollar, is now ready by 2030 under the United Nations.
Mhm.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But what this did to us, black women and black men fighting everyone on social media, bro.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
That must cease. We gotta come together. It's not time to be.
Like,
I am bickering over things that they're trying to divide us with. You know,
Yeah.
like they're just trying
The
to put us
blame.
back into that
Game.
barrel.
Yeah.
crabs in the barrel,
You
bro.
know,
Yo,
can't.
bro, I'm telling you, going on social media was just a headache.
It was.
And it's a thing because people didn't even look at the statistics, right? People didn't see that, yeah, most black men, I think Kamal still got like 70-something% of the black male vote, which is very close to the black woman vote.
Mhm.
But you did have a lot of black women blaming black men and non-voters. This is why you're in office. Y'all don't care about us.
Yeah.
Y'all don't protect us. Da, da, da. You got people losing their minds, screaming, just all kind of demons just showing up. from
Crazy.
people.
Yeah.
I'm just the craziest. Said like vote or die. You know,
Yeah,
like
vote or die.
just like
Is that
I'm
a
like, oh
threat?
my gosh,
Is that a threat?
that's a threat.
When I think about the next 4 years, what I see is like, I want to say, and this might be optimism, that the alphabet agenda will slow down. I think the alphabet agenda will have to slow down a bit, just because whenever the Republican Party's in office, they're not pushing for like a lot of rights for them and changing legislation about them. As far as, so I want to think that is going to be a benefit.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
If the other
I
side
see
won,
it's-
I think it would have just accelerated.
Right.
Honestly.
And I don't know if I think the Republicans won each and every, like they might have won the House too, but I know they won the Senate. So it's like, yes, I don't see that being top priority for them. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's probably like, if it isn't a priority, it's like bottom
It's an
five.
anti-pragmatic.
It's like
And this is why they're quote unquote controlled opposition, because they bring the image of, hey, we're here to bring back Christian morals and values and stuff like this. But what it is they want to see the white evangelical picture, is like the picture people look at of this is how slavery happened, right? And what it is, they're using this just to divide us more. You know what I mean? People are going to be so tired of the right and stuff like that that they're gonna swing all the way left by the time Trump is. And so the world,
That's so true.
and so,
Exactly.
and that's how it happens. You get so tired of the morality, and you think your freedoms are being taken away, and this and that you want now the complete extreme opposite. Which is why Kamala got so much funding. Bill Gates is funding this person, fund. Like, that's what just like Pastor Omar was saying, right? We might see some business increase, right? Heck, hopefully we might even unify more as a Yasharal, as a community.
Yeah.
Sorry, not black community in my mind, y'all, but as Yasharal, as the co-regime, you know what I mean?
I would agree. Yeah.
But on the back end, we might see more unjust killings. We might see, white nationalists start, to poke their chest out a little bit.
Definitely.
And
Boldness.
because of all of that, people are going to be so ready for the extreme opposite. They're going to be ready for lawlessness.
Yeah.
By the time the United Nations is 2030, it's going to swing back around.
Yeah.
It's going to be, no, we want full debauchery now. We're
Mhm.
tired of all this. We want,
Like real life Sodom and Gomorrah.
for real.
That's
how controlled
that's a
opposition
great
works.
point. Yeah, because
Yeah, no. I mean, I was a little afraid of the Proud Boys getting back united and empowered and this and that. But y'all actually made a good point to me that whether they lost or not, because January 6th happened because they lost. So I mean, even if they lost, they still would have been like, all right, we're about to go like tear the town down. We're gonna do something to show our strength.
But even in a win, they'll still be super proud.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that so much of the evangelical, Republican side that has like mixed in, they are, and this is kind of, I guess, getting into our turn of thought, they're so into like the prosperity doctrine and like just having a lot of wealth that they could, over these next 4 years, actively like say, oh, I'm taking this back, be like, God ordained for Trump to win, And I do think like the Most High is in control of everything, So obviously it was part of his plan, but they might just be really emboldened to just be like, "No, we're taking back the country.
Yeah.
Everything's ours."
I mean, but even though
we gotta realize it's Babylon.
You can have it.
Yeah,
for sure. Like it's like, even though we see the stock market and we see certain financial things happening, and business might do a thing, we got waiver. Because of what I personally feel his agenda is, or why he's in there, we're gonna see some of that. But I think by the time at the end of this term, we're gonna be going super downhill, because again, it's gonna be a situation where we still need this great research, this great research reset.
Yeah.
The United States can't be I just showed a client the World Economic Forum, one of their videos today, and and it was the 2030 agenda, and one of them said the U.S. will not be the world superpower. That was one of the points. Like it was like 8 points, and one of them was saying the United States will not be the world superpower. So to be real, like, cool, peace and safety, but something's gonna crack. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Maybe this is second Exodus season.
Yeah.
Before this. Hey, Most High, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this is second Exodus season, maybe, right?
Reparations conversation.
But you know what it also means?
I would love to get back to reparations.
But you know what it also means? How a lot of us thought, or people thought, 2020 couldn't have been the start of the quote unquote tribulation. It had to have been maybe possibly towards the end of growing pains. Because if 2030 is possibly when a lot of this agenda is really going to be implemented by the United Nations, that would be really towards the meat of, or the beginning, right?
Possibly
You know,
beginning.
I mean, heck, we could be in it now, right? at this point now.
Could still be in growing pains,
Right.
Too, you know.
Yeah.
But you got to remember the Ethiopian calendar is like what 6 years behind ours. I think 2020 was their 2020 was their 2012.
Because of the leap year, right?
Right, I
Because
believe
of
so.
the leap year,
Right,
and
we're supposed to be on
number of
13.
days
Yeah, we're
on the
supposed to be on
calendar.
13 months. So yeah,
Oh.
so if that was their 2012, 2020 was their 2012, then 2030 would be our 2022 or the year 6. 2 plus 2 equals 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6.
That's
No one knows the day and time. Okay, we could do a lot of
Nobody knows. I'm just throwing stuff out there, man.
We can calculate till our brains fry. Okay.
Right, I get it. Oh man, hey, this is all a disclaimer. I know we didn't put our disclaimer on the live, but
Oh, yeah.
we're not the authority. This is just our opinions.
Yeah.
Opinion based. Okay. Are we ready to get into alternative thought?
Yeah.
Okay. So today for alternative thought, I want to discuss promises of the Most High versus prosperity doctrine. And to me, this strongly aligns with my belief for the next 4 years, as far as an increase in the economy, increase in business, entrepreneurship, and then I do believe that as the Most High is chosen, He does not call us to a life of poverty and struggle, but of abundance. So I do think that a lot of us are going to experience an increase, and we are going to experience that abundance, but it gets really gray and really sticky because there are preachers who do heavy prosperity doctrine, and the way that they teach and preach is not, in my opinion, it's not biblical and it's not based in truth.
Yeah.
So let's discuss the differences between promises versus prosperity doctrine.
I think about like in regards to this topic, where our hearts have to be. I think first off, and during these times as we are, think about things like the second Exodus and the dry bones waking up and various promises of the Most High and the blessings that have to come associated with it. I think it's important for our hearts to be focused on the Most High and our relationship with Him rather than what He's going to bless us with. And I think that's where like the prosperity doctrine and like televangelism and everything that's been pushed really since TV and church came together was like, you had to be focused, like you had to truly teach people to have a relationship with God, like not just get God's stuff, because you can't. That's just what Satan does. He tempts you with what would you like? Just an opportunity to have something that's sinful. Like just think about like in the garden. He tempted Eve with the apple, supposedly. So. Just like being rooted in what His actual promises are, which are based on our obedience unto Him, focusing on being disciples of Christ and not focusing on just what He's going to bless us with, but the promises and the blessings are going to be great. I do think that we have to be very diligent with when we are blessed, and making sure that we're glorifying His kingdom with how we're utilizing these resources that we're getting blessed with, but prosperity gospel it twists that to show, like, just think about health and wealth and prosperity. So
I also feel like the prosperity doctrine, it ties the blessings to tithing. And then its version of tithing is based on a percent of your net income that you can calculate, and you give that solely to this one ministry. And then based on you planting a seed in this ministry, then prosperity is going to enter your life. There's so many things wrong with that. Like, one, tithing is not just physical money. I don't think that the 10% is supposed to be off your net income of your check and you need to give it to this one ministry. I think that tithing, while you should give where you're being fed, I think tithing includes acts of service and feeding people. I think you should
alms of service.
Alms of service, feeding people. I think it also includes if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm lacking in this area. Can you help me out?" and you give it to them, whether it be someone on the street, your friend, your family, someone calls you, your neighbor knocks on your door, that's included. So, how can you measure that? So I think that's where they get it wrong. And I think that the Most High's promises they never say the part where the gifts and the curses, the blessings and the curse. They never say, "Oh, but you need to follow the laws and statutes and commands." No, they never say any of that.
Right.
It's just tithe. No,
Right.
like first of all, you have to clean your life up and remove the idolatry and the places that you're not in line
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Then you qualify for the promises.
Right.
So no, I've never heard anything about turning away from sin. It's always about tithing.
Yeah. It's like if you sow a seed of $10,
$10 seed.
$1,000, it's like, oh, I got someone who needs to sow that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't talk about getting your life right with the Most High, being righteous and removing the sin, like you said.
Get rid of the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Get rid of the
Yeah.
Easter eggs.
One factual thing is
Get rid of
that
the pork chops.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the shrimp. The shrimps.
The scrimps. They don't say nothing about the scrimps.
Right.
One factual thing about tithing is that it definitely predates the Mosaic covenant. You know what I mean? It started with Abraham, Jacob, and tithing to Melchizedek. So the concept of giving to whoever basically if you're being poured into by a organization or person,
Yes.
then you should be pouring back into them to some degree.
Agreed.
Very
Yes.
simple. Very simple concept we should all be able to understand. And then, of course, in Israel, 10% to the Levite priests because they didn't have inheritance, right? And then if you go into the New Testament, then you have the Nazarenes, right? Who Paul was quoted in Acts as being a ringleader of. What the believers did is they kind of like almost operated outside of the governmental system, which again, this is what we got to get back to if we're going to survive this oncoming system. They brought everything they made to the storehouse and distributed equally. So it wasn't even the 10% as we are used to. They brought everything they made to the storehouse and was distributed according to everybody's need, right? And then when you didn't and you try to withhold, we know the story about the husband and wife that died for relying about it. So that 10%, honestly, it's kind of like child's play almost, right? It's really just that principle that comes from the Mosaic covenant that the churches have adopted.
Yeah.
But really, we should be praying and giving according to our heart and what the Most High lays on us.
Right.
Now, when it comes to giving to your congregation, I mean, me personally, what I do when I make money, I put 10%, out the way, and I use that 10% up kind of throughout the week. Okay, this person, this comes about this need. Okay, cool. We give $1 to this person, and I kind of deduct from that 10% until, and what I know is when I give over that 10%, that is my offering. Right. So and I just choose however the Most High put as my heart. So, but I definitely make sure whatever congregation I'm at, I definitely choose to pour into that congregation to what I can, what I feel like is put on my heart.
It's like you say, like the co-regime, like us getting closer with the churches, we should be giving to it too, because we want to see it grow. But as well as like our relationships or, other areas where we're like just feeling led to give and to put money towards, because everything costs money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But we're not doing it with the idea that now my business is gonna be blessed because I put this 10% aside. It's like, okay, it's my duty to give because it's my duty. But any blessings that the Most High blessed me with, it's not tied to my duty to give.
Well, we should know that we will be blessed if we bless, right? It just shouldn't be the reason we do it,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is really just that. Like if you're, and honestly, like if you think about, Masonry and Greek organizations and stuff, it's interwoven into their organizations to do charity.
Yeah.
But these are the same organizations that do damage across the world or to these communities directly or indirectly. Yeah. And now we're going to give charity, or like, powerful rich people giving to charities. Well, it's your overindulgence in the diamonds, in the jewels, in the stuff that has the biggest slavery happening in the Congo right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you think your charity is doing something for that? So, it's definitely a thing of doing it not hypocritically. We need a charger.
Yeah.
And all of that.
We're about to finish up.
For sure. Yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah. I think that's
But what about the blessings?
It's-
Like I want to know like what y'all think about the idea that because of who we are, that the Most High didn't create us for poverty.
Mhm.
Yet we have a lot of our people that are impoverished.
Yeah, I think because we had turned away from the Most High, as we are coming back now, He's gonna be like, oh, okay. I think we just have to be content. One of the things, what was it? First Timothy said, godliness with contentment. You know, is like a beautiful thing. Paraphrasing, but it's like as we are receiving these blessings and just like increase in resources, we have to be able to just pour into each other and share with each other. And I think that's how like we can kind of in regards to like our financial news topic is like group economics and kind of like us being understanding that we're all followers in Christ, you know, and coming together and then getting outside of this matrix that, you know, Babylon and like its whole system and how it's gonna get destroyed. Like one of the verses I put up this week on my Instagram was Revelation 18, and they're talking about come out of her, my people, you know, so you don't get destroyed. Like
Spiritually, mentally, all that.
It's part of second Exodus too.
As far as what I can talk about my own life with seeing blessings is for one, I already know that a lot of blessings in my family in general, and tribe in general, ain't for nothing that none of us did.
Okay.
It's because of our ancestors. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like when I read Deuteronomy, Genesis 49, Asher's bread shall be fat, and he shall eat royal dainties. That's because of how Asher lived. You know what I'm saying? He lived a certain life, so his descendants were going to be blessed, even though we got scattered too.
Yeah.
And they did some wickedness too, right? The descendants. When I look at Deuteronomy 33, where Moses blesses Asher to be a warrior's people, to be Yasharon, to be plentiful in many goods. That's something I feel my family and tribe, the Kikuyu people, experience a lot of today. But still, in individuals' lives where we don't honor the covenant, where we turn to the Most High, in individual people's lives, you're going to experience the curses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Granted, now some people might have still sold out to this system and they experience the blessings of the system. Doesn't mean the Most High is blessing them.
Right.
So it is important for us to be able to discern,
Yeah.
right, which is what. But in my own life, when I became an entrepreneur, I dedicated my business to the Most High, and I made a promise to always give and do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And He's kept my over 5 years. My business is still been going, right? But I know
that's a
that
blessing. That's
That is
such
a blessing.
To
and
you, I think you're just adjusted. So you're used to that. Like you're
I know,
become accustomed
I
to
know
it.
it
But
is.
to be able to like really live off of entrepreneurship for 5, 6, 7, 10 years is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Trust me, look, I've had my times where the bank account was in the negative, you know what I mean? And I wasn't calling my parents.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm like getting through the mud, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or waiting for a check to clear,
Yeah.
and I can't get gas because oh shoot, 200 negative, like, you know what I mean? Oh shoot, I found $5 in my wallet to at least get home,
Yeah.
you know? So like I've had those moments, but look, but honestly, I was like maybe the first year or so.
Mm-hmm.
I've been ever since then, man. I've been good, and I think it's as long as and it's the faith part too. Like a lot of times, it's me when I don't feel like I have, and I give. I know you get doubly blessed for that.
Yes.
In the book of the Nazarene, the Messiah talks about. It's how it's easy to give, when you have plenty.
Mm-hmm.
But those who give when they don't, that's real love. He says something to that degree, and it's like, and so because I've trying to keep those principles. Now every now and then I have my like, dag man, I need to pinch my pennies, But when it comes to doing something for somebody, I just know the Most High not gonna let me fall because what else? The Most High's name is attached to us too.
Yeah.
He can't let us go out bad because His name will go out bad with others looking at our lives.
Yeah.
So He has to honor His word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's just hard to remember that sometimes in the moment,
Yeah. No. So to me, that's why I think of promises. I just think of favor. I think I've had a lot of favor in my life, and some of it, most of it, it's not anything that was maybe deserved. But now going forward, when I want to have a family of my own one day, and I think about having kids and grandkids and great grandkids, I want them to have favor on their life because of how I lived.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that he has called us to abundance. I think that we will continue to see the tide turn in the next 4 years and going forward, and a lot of things are going to start to come into our hands. And before we make any big exodus or leaving of this country, I just think reparations are going to end up getting paid.
For sure.
Yeah.
And quick note: if the phone dies, then we lose the live from being able to post it.
Okay, we're at 18%.
Okay, 18. Okay, good.
So,
All right, yeah, no, that was good. That was real good.
Yeah, just accepting the promises of the Most High, being obedient unto Him.
Yeah.
Realizing that He's gonna protect us, provide for us. And it's gonna be good.
No, for
The
sure.
finances are gonna be good.
I mean, that's the thing, man. And that's why we really do gotta really have more discussions of hunkering down, helping each other, building, because we don't as the system crashes, we have to have our own Nazarene like infrastructure built up. You know what I mean?
Government.
And have faith that we're still gonna prosper even as the rest of the world is following.
And really just become like truly a nation of people.
Yes.
Separate nation. The Most High nation.
Yes, for sure.
Financial news.
Financial news. Well, we kind of talked about this.
We continue to talk about this.
We continue to talk about this.
Continually talk about this.
This is a topic that we've had many. And this also kind of like it's part of the foundation as to our conversation and our perspective as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like life outside of this matrix.
And our Hebrew word.
Hebrew word, precious metals. Our Hebrew word was precious. Wow, that's good. Yeah. Precious metals, skill sets, having those. Like just being able to do for ourselves, self-sufficiency, I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
Self-economic independence as well. So yeah, I think I haven't looked at what gold or silver is doing right now, but I'm sure that they're going up with the market. We see Bitcoin surpassing all-time highs.
I can give you a little bit. I made a little $20 off of that.
Okay.
Stock market shoot up.
Yeah.
All right. HP is a really good trade for right now. But AI technologies, it's good to trade right now. But actually, gold and silver has stagnated. It's low. It's gone down just only a little bit, maybe about 50 to 100. And that's what I'm realizing as the dollar crashes, gold and silver goes up, and because people are now buying it for store value. Yeah. But as the dollar goes up, it stagnates or goes down a little bit because now people are like, okay, the dollar has some value again now.
All right. It's gonna be a little bit more stable with Trump. That's why with the drink,
For sure. But that's what I see. As far as that.
But that still does not negate the fact that it's always a good time to get precious metals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get it when it's lower.
When we're talking about like assets and stuff, just for planning for the future, I do think that there's always been a certain way that Americans knew how to get ahead. And so what we did was, two young people would get together, they would get married, they would buy a starter home, one that they could easily afford. They would keep it 10, 15 years, and then using the equity from that house or so forth, they would sell the house, get a bigger house, and so forth. And that's how people got ahead. They got ahead using real estate. But I think that going forward, people that are forward thinking, and if you're in a place where like you might be a young person who you have your first job, or you might be in a position where you want to get married soon, instead of purchasing a starter home, maybe put your funds together and use your buying power or your borrowing power to purchase land. And then try and build a house on the land.
Oh yeah.
So instead of going to get a 3-story brick townhouse in Buckhead, maybe you rethink that and consider where you can buy an acre of land with a house that maybe you could renovate. Because the way that our parents and our grandparents did it, and the way that they got ahead and built stability, we're gonna have to re-innovate.
As we look at like the agenda that's coming forth, you definitely I think city living is going to change drastically. There's going to be a lot more like smart city type of initiative, and with
Tampa, they probably
you know
working on
a
that.
lot of AI surveillance, with a lot of, I mean, even digital currency is going to be linked to that. So you want to think about having land, I think, and also skill sets too.
Yes.
You know, this week I felt kind of accomplished because I took out a hammer and nails, you know, and I solid something.
Mhm.
So I put together like a little garden. I'm like, okay, you know, I feel like a man on Friday. It's part of my Shabbat rest.
That's
but it's
amazing.
like, yeah, some is slight. I'm like, gotta do more things like this. Be self-sufficient. Like even thinking about getting a trade and stuff. I'm like, maybe I don't need to do that full time, but I should be able to learn how to.
I just feel like
How to
people
do
know
things.
something's up. I mean, Treadwife is like trending on the gram. Like when you look on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, you see a lot of women that want to go back to the basics, and they're making homemade bread,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're want to live in farmhouses, and it
Having
is an
goats.
aesthetic.
Yeah.
But in real time, like that stuff is getting popular for a reason. People
Yeah.
are starting to realize it's getting real
Mhm.
sketchy out here.
It is. It really is. And the agenda ain't stopping for nothing. I think, especially with how AI is moving. It's like you see so many different things. Especially with, I think it's gonna be interesting to see what Trump does with his cabinet and if he chooses Musk in there, because I feel like a national security concern. Like he owns like the largest platform. He talks about it moving towards like
Robots
looking
that are
at
probably
WeChat, how
surveilling you.
WeChat incorporates money and stuff. Like
The
yeah.
robots are probably surveilling you. You don't even know it. Y'all think it's funny. Y'all think it's cute. Like, oh, I got a little robot. Now you don't have to do nothing. Okay, cool.
Right,
I
it's
just
just sitting there
watch
plotting
this-
on you.
Watch just joke you up one time while
You
you
think it's
sleep.
sleep, really it's
Yeah.
recording. Like
Right, you know, yeah, I'm telling y'all, bro. Neuralink, come on, man.
Yeah, Neuralink, yeah.
Come on now, like, but you know, hey, that's why people got to see the controlled op
Yeah.
part. Like, I get how he's presented, but he's still a op.
Mm-hmm.
He's just controlled.
And there's a lot of them actually. There's a lot of controlled ops that look so great and up front, but aren't really, because they're
For
controlled
sure.
ops.
And that's where you
That's right.
just don't need, you know, to be a conspiracy theorist. You
Mhm.
need to be in the truth. You
Yeah.
need the spirit of discernment, discerning of spirits.
We all need Christ, for real.
For sure, y'all.
You know, that's where we get that discernment from His Holy Spirit, and
Hallelujah.
you know, we just gotta realize that we're precious to the Most High.
Yes.
For
We
sure.
are precious to the Most High.
Yep. It's only the ignorance of that is when you operate on the lower frequency, for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, shoot, that's our episode, guys.
Good chat, guys.
Great job.
Um,
Quick.
Shalom.
if you'd like to donate, okay, is Cash App Kingdom Outcast Pod. All right, Cash App Kingdom Outcast Pod. We will use these funds to give you better production, better content, all of those things.
Better guests, you know, people coming on.
Better
As
guests.
you know.
All guests are valuable.
Oh, yeah.
all guests are valuable.
Better
Yeah.
guests.
We could have, yeah.
Or more people
hands.
having on, you know,
Okay.
like studio stuff, you know,
We
just get more professional.
We
Yeah,
got a
so-
couple
totally
guests
agree.
lined up for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, we got a music artist. We got somebody from
Yeah.
Africa. We got some people lined up.
Yes, but you know, like, comment, share, subscribe, do what you do. But thank you for tuning in and all the love.
Yeah.
Kingdom Outcast, podcasting, the truth of the way.
Show.
Episode
Shalom.
32.
Shalom. We out.
Peace.
Okay, let's take a photo.
I'm smelling every photo.
Oh, it doesn't look like we're really.
Do I do in stream or leave studio? In stream, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
I see you too.
Outro video.